you're going to have to say, okay? I am an African ancient Egyptian. Why? It takes us back to our greatness. We're going to have to resurrect ancient Egypt and claim ancient Egypt. Okay? We cannot be an Egyptian. Now, don't let nobody call you an Egyptian, and don't you call yourself an Egyptian. Because anyone of any race, creed, or color can be an Egyptian. The Arabs over there now, those white Arabs, they're Egyptian. Chinese can be an Egyptian. Puerto Rican can be an Egyptian. Indian of India could be an Egyptian. All you have to do is stay over in Egypt for a certain length of time or be born over there, and you're an Egyptian. Okay? Like anybody can be an American over here in this country. Of any race, creed, or color. You can be an American, but you cannot be an ancient Egyptian unless you are qualified to be an ancient Egyptian. You know what qualifies you to be identified and called an ancient Egyptian? You have to be African. That's the qualification. You see? You have to be an African. So don't say I'm an Egyptian. Say I'm an ancient Egyptian. Because ancient Egypt is lying in the continent of Africa unclaimed at this very moment that I'm talking to you. Unclaimed. And here we are, 40 million or more of us living in this hemisphere in North America without any ethnic identity. None whatsoever. So the glove fits perfect. We cannot go any place. I'm talking about us living in North America. We cannot go to any place in Africa and claim our greatness. It's not there. I'm not trying to knock anybody or Africans. They are our brothers. We love them. But you cannot, we from North America cannot go into Africa and claim no place on the African continent and say, I'm home. Can't do it. But there is a space for us, a place for us that's been waiting for us to claim for years and years and years and years and years. And that's the civilization and culture of the ancient Egyptians. The world's greatest people that have ever walked this earth. Okay? During the time of antiquity, they were the only people on earth that had a writing system. They were the only people on earth that were literate. They had three forms of writing: Meta-National Hieroglyphics, the Hieratic Phonetic 1 alphabet, and the Demotic Phonetic 2 alphabet. And whoever creates an alphabet, that alphabet can only be created one time. So they were the first ones to create a writing system and an alphabet. See? So therefore, they were the only literate people on planet Earth. No other races of people throughout the whole entire world could read or write because they didn't have an alphabet, including the Greeks and the Romans. The Greeks never had an alphabet. That's never been an institution that ever came out of Greece. Why? In order to have an institution, you have to have a writing system. The Greeks were uncivilized savages coming into and during the time of their invasion of ancient Egypt. See? Now, George M. James put out a book and said that the Greeks studied with the ancient Egyptians. That's not true. Because the ancient Egyptians did not take foreigners into their society. They didn't do that. They didn't take foreigners into their sacred society. Okay? So therefore, they did not study with the ancient Egyptians. But they did study with the Coptic Egyptians. Where? In the world's first Christian church, put up by Justinian and his wife Theodora in Constantinople, which is northeast Africa, misnomer today and called the Middle East. They studied there at the world's first Christian church and the world's first university for the Europeans. But the teaching staff at the Hagia Sophia was staffed by Africans, Coptic Melkite Egyptian Africans. That's who taught the Europeans. But this was in the 6th century, in the middle of the 6th century. That's when it happened, after 537. See? But not when Alexander the Greek came into Egypt. See? So when Alexander the Greek came into Egypt, he forced the Greek language on our ancient Egyptian ancestors. And by them being a literate people, they applied one of their alphabet to the Greek language. So the Greeks never had an alphabet, but it was the language, the Greek language, that an alphabet was applied to. So today, as a misnomer, they say, oh, this is the Greek alphabet. Greeks never had no alphabet. See? So we have to understand who our ancestors are. I didn't say a word, are. You see? They teach you in these various universities that there was a Socrates. And Socrates was supposed to be the teacher of Plato. And Plato was supposed to be the teacher of Aristotle. And that there was a Herodotus. And that there was a Homer. That there was a Solon. And that there was a Pythagoras, etc., etc. All these Greek names supposed to have existed prior to Alexander the Greek coming into Egypt in 332 BCE. Walter Williams, come along and challenge anybody who claimed that there was a Socrates, a Plato, an Aristotle, a Herodotus, Homer, etc., etc. Why do I challenge that? I challenge that because I ask one question. If you're going to say that these Greek names existed, then you tell me what alphabet did they use to write with? Because the Greeks had no alphabet. There's only one race of people having an alphabet on planet Earth. And those people are known to us today in history as the ancient Egyptians. These are our ancestors, but we have to know something about our ancestors in order to be spiritually and racially in tune with them. They are waiting for us to claim them. In the continent of Africa, they are waiting for us to come and make that claim. They are unclaimed. The ancient Egyptian culture and civilization is unclaimed in the continent of Africa. Why? Because the descendants of the ancient Egyptians have been taught away from ancient Egypt. How do they teach you away? They name you and train you as a Negro. They allow you to come up and call yourself black. James Brown did it. He said he's black and he's proud. They had a little dance to go with it. See? Then Jesse Jackson come along and told white folks that call us African American. He said, fine, beautiful. As long as you do not call yourself an ancient Egyptian, they'll call you whatever you suggest that they call you. See? They want to keep you away from that greatness. Because why? Your ancestors, the ancient Egyptians, civilized this whole entire world. Everything that you see around you came from the culture and the civilization of our ancestors, the ancient Egyptians. Everything. Paper, pen, ink. Domesticating the earth, domesticating animals, living in brick buildings, science, mathematics. It goes on and on and on and on. They civilized this whole entire world, planet that we call world today, whereby the Europeans terrorized this whole entire planet. Every inch of this earth has been terrorized by the Europeans. He's over there at this very moment terrorizing the people in Iraq. He's right there. He even terrorized his own folks. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. Now, you listen to this. The Europeans, or Europe, has never been invaded by no one or nobody of any race, creed, or color. Never invaded Europe. Don't tell me about a Hannibal now, because there's never been a Hannibal. But that's another subject. Okay? But no one or nobody of any race, creed, or color has ever invaded Europe. But the Europeans has invaded every people, every culture, every race on planet Earth, including himself. There's something to think about. See? So we are going to have to resurrect ancient Egypt. And I was telling Brother Clemson Brown, and I'm going to tell Clemson again, Clemson, from this day on, you cannot use black people anymore, that term. You're going to have to use ancient Egypt, ancient Egyptian, African ancient Egyptian. Don't use that because you're not helping us as a people. You're setting us back. Every time you say black people, you're sending us back to slavery. Every time you say that African American, you're sending us back to slavery. Every time they use the term Negro, they're sending us back to slavery. But when you say that I am an African ancient Egyptian, what are you doing? I'm sending you back to the greatest people and the greatest civilization and the greatest culture that has ever existed on planet Earth. That's what I'm doing. And you can claim that because we are an African people. And the ancient Egyptians are an African people. I didn't say we're Africans, they still are African. Now, if you have to understand that, that's your first phase of us understanding and coming back to the forefront to liberate us as a people. That's what we're going to have to do. See, they won't have me on public television because I'm going to get, and I'm going to use the term African ancient Egyptian. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You see? So you will never, ever hear me use that word or call my brothers and sisters in the African community black. Never do that. Listen, have you ever heard me use that term? I don't use that term. You will never ever hear me use the term African American. I wouldn't dare call you an African American. I'm degrading you. I would never call you a Negro unless I'm mad at you. And I'm calling you a Negro to be nice to keep you from calling you a nigger. See? That's a scholarly word. Oh, he's another Negro. See? So, we're going to have to come back for our liberation. In order to do that, you're going to have to understand what it takes for us to be liberated and how we can go about liberating us. That's the first phase now. Are you following me? Now, the second phase of our liberation. You heard it a little bit, so I got to bring it to you. You know what that is? We're going to have to divest ourselves from all religion.
Oh, there's something down.
Okay? What you may think of Reverend P.T. Chickering, your local minister. I don't care what you think of your imam. Okay? I don't care what you think of your blood of Abraham leader. Has nothing to do with that. Has something to do with you. The liberation of you individually as a human being. That's what it has to do with. So therefore, we're going to have to divest ourselves from all religion. Okay? And find our way back to our own indwelling personal spirituality. Now, this is very, very simple. Okay? Very simple. No human on earth was born with a religion. No Christian, no Muslim, no Black Hebrew Israelite, no Jew, no Buddhist, none of that. You don't really go and get your birth certificate. You look on your birth certificate and see if there's Christian on there, or Muslim on there. It's not there. So, in order for you to liberate yourself and divest yourself from all these chaotic religions, you must know who you are spiritually. Now, I'm going to tell you who you are. Now, you listen to this. If you understand what I'm about to tell you, then you will be liberated for the rest of your life, and you won't owe me a dime.